Hello and welcome to Rituals Hub. I'm Rachel and I'm going to be guiding you through a 60-minute trauma-led yin flow. So for anyone who hasn't experienced yin yoga before, we traditionally hold the poses for about 5 to 6 minutes. And I will add a little rebound position within each of those 6-minute shapes. And that's just going to be laying on your back or your front for about 1 minute. A little pause in between each shape. And for anyone who hasn't experienced trauma-led yin yoga, I'm going to be guiding you into exploring the sensations of your body and your breath. And this is so we regulate our nervous system. So if you have experienced any trauma, illness, or grief, you can have some disconnection from your body. And basically, trauma-led yin yoga reintroduces the relationship between the body and the mind and creates that connection. So what we're going to need today is a pillow or pillows, books or yoga blocks if you have them. Grab a blanket as well so you can get all snuggly underneath there. I'm not going to do that because it's about 26 degrees right now, so I'm not going to use a blanket, but I would suggest that you do. Get nice and snuggly, cozy. Maybe you want another blanket for extra support. So let's dive into our yin yoga class. We're going to start in a seated or laying down position, however feels good for you. And we're going to start with a guided meditation. So I invite you just to check out your surroundings at first. Just observing where you are. You're probably somewhere familiar, but if you're not, this is a really good practice just for ease the mind and allowing you to know that you're comfortable where you are. So just check out where the light's coming into the room, where there is a door. Check out can you pick out a few different colours? Where are the reds in the room? How many pieces of furniture, if there are any? How many plants there are? And when you're comfortable in your surroundings, I invite you, and this is just an invitation, whenever I say this throughout the practice, I invite you to close your eyes. Or you can keep them open and just keep a nice soft gaze. And just tuning into your own breath. We're going to use the breath as an anchor today throughout our practice. So whenever our mind wanders, we can just return to the breath. And just observing whereabouts the breath is traveling to in the body. Which part of the body is expanding and which part of the body is contracting. And just observing the ebbs and the flows. I invite you to think of a place that makes you feel safe. This could be a real place or it could be an imaginary place. It could also be a person or it could be an object. Somewhere that gives you the sense of calmness and happiness. And when you've come up with that place, I'd like you to pick out as many colours in that place. Is it greens, blues, browns, yellows? And what are the texture of those pillows? And what are the texture of those colours? Are they shiny, matte, rough, natural, chipping? And I'd like you to work through your own 5 senses now, in gathering as much information as possible about your surroundings in this safe place. The smells, the sounds, the feel, the taste. Maybe there's some delicious fruits there. I just want you to spend the next 30 seconds just gathering as much of these details as possible. And we gather these details about our safe place because we're going to use this throughout our practice to return to. But also, this is a really great tool to use off of your mat as well. So in times of overwhelm or struggle, you could spend a minute returning back to this inner resource and taking the benefits from returning to somewhere that's very calm and soothing to you. And the more details we have, the easier it is to get back there. And now we've taken all of our details about that inner resource. We're just going to gently open our eyes, if our eyes are closed, and just come back into our space again. And we're going to move into our first shape. So we're going to come into a seated position if we're laid down, and grab our pillows and our books or our blankets and make a little prop. So staying legs on the ground, and we're just going to ease back into our little pillow blanket situation and just rest the head. So moving into this shape, make sure from the lower back to the neck is supported. There's also different variations of this shape that we could take. The idea is that we're going to open out through our chest, so maybe you'd even like to double up your pillow and allow the head to fall over the pillow, so then you get more expansion over the chest. Or maybe you'd like to, if you have thick blocks or books at home, maybe you'd like to make a shape like this and really get into the back area. Oh yeah, this one's me. So we're opening up through the chest. There's an arching of the spine. So you just making those decisions based on your body. And that's one of the principles of Yin Yoga, is that our body dictates the shapes that we hold rather than the shape dictates our body. So it's encouraging for us to find the parts of our body that need the tension to be released, rather than you following exactly what I do, because my body's so different from yours. And that's the beauty of Yin Yoga, is that it allows you to explore what feels good for you. And I also will just explain a little kind of chart that in which you can measure the sensations of your body through this practice. So if we have a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being no sensation at all and 10 being pain, I want you to try and allow your body to sit, the body sensations to sit around the 3 to 4 mark. So you're feeling some sensation and you can feel the tension there, but also you're not in discomfort at all. And it's through sitting with these sensations that you get to explore what's happening in your body. And it's through this that your body, and by using props, that your body sends signals to your brain to say that it can relax. And then from that, your nervous system becomes regulated, and that's how you feel so relaxed and rejuvenated after a Yin Yoga class, which is a beautiful feeling. Now I'm just going to sit up and guide you through the rest of this shape. But you please stay in your shape. And we've been in our shape for about 3 minutes now, so we've got a few more minutes left. You might have noticed that when you arrived into this shape, your body, there was some loud sensations coming through. They might have eased, or they may have even got louder. Can you inquire into your sensations as to if some have got louder or some have become more quiet? And we can use our breath to anchor us into these positions. So maybe with every exhale, you can feel yourself relaxing a little bit more. With every exhale, feel the tension leaving your body. And we're about in our final minute now. And if you're feeling that this final minute is a little bit of a challenge, just try and keep that focus on the breath. Knowing that if a challenge arises in life as well, you can take the focus onto your breath. Final few breaths in this shape. And we're going to just roll wherever we are in our shape. We're just going to lift our left or right leg up, just shift the weight over onto our hip, maybe onto our forearms, and just take the pillows or the blocks from behind your back and just shuffle onto your back for our rebound position. Maybe placing your hands on your abdomen or over your heart, or allowing them to rest onto the ground. And just feeling that sense of ease arrive in the body. Now we've taken ourselves out of that contracting shape. Feeling that fresh blood arrive to the parts of our body that were contracted. These little rebound positions, personally, I feel are the real juicy parts of Yin Yoga, in that you've held that shape for such a long time and you've kind of allowed your mind to get used to being so still and holding your body in a different shape where you're expanding. And now you come into these little rebound positions and you can feel the ease in the body. We're going to slide our legs up now, and we're going to take our right ankle to our left knee and just bring in the legs into the body. Maybe you could grab your right knee and your ankle, or maybe you can grab behind the thigh or the knee or the shin. Wherever feels good for you. Again, this is about your body, not mine. And pulling the legs a little bit further in towards the body, feeling that stretch in the outside of the right hip. And then when you're ready, we're going to take the left leg and the right leg over to the right. And this is where you might want to grab your props. Maybe you'd like to put a pillow in between your legs. Maybe you'd like to put the pillow to the right side of your body just to prop you up here. Maybe you'd like a block or a blanket in between your legs. And just get in nice and comfortable. Maybe you'd like to pull a blanket over you. Stretching that right arm up over the head, resting it onto the body, or stretching that right arm out over to the side. Maybe taking a gaze over to the right so you've got that twist in your lower spine. And wherever you are, just taking any final adjustments to arrive into stillness. And I'm just going to reiterate the point again that this is about your body. So it's about you finding that sensation in your body at around the 3-4 mark. Not taking it to a painful point and not having it at no sensation at all. And exploring your body, exploring where you hold the tension. I'm just going to come up again to guide you through this shape. Please stay where you are. So it's about about you guiding yourself through your body, a journey through your body as to where you hold the most tension. And tension can be stored in the body due to receiving trauma. And when we receive trauma, our brain remembers it and it stores it within our nervous system. And then we store the tension in our fascia. So for me, I have a lot of, and this is really common for women, to have a lot of tension in their hips and their abdomen area. Another other source of tension is the jaw and shoulders. And just with every exhale, allowing some of that tension to ease. Feeling a little bit more comfortable with every exhale. Can you pick up where the loudest sensation is in your body right now? And how does that sensation make you feel? Is there a quality to that sensation? Can you pick up the quietest part in your body? Where's making the least noise right now? And again, how does that feel? We've got about another minute left in this shape. And if the sensation has changed since when you arrived into this shape, maybe you need to focus more on the breath to allow you to complete the time in this shape. Arriving into stillness is a real challenge, both physically and mentally. Physically, because we're targeting areas that we don't normally target, and you wouldn't normally target them for this length of time. And maybe if the sensations have changed and they have got a little louder, you can focus on your breath solely for this last minute. Observing again the ebbs and the flows of the breath. Visualizing the inhales traveling to the sensations that are the loudest. And as you exhale, imagining any thoughts that are not serving you right now leaving the body. And we'll just get ready to start moving out of our shape. So I invite you to slowly roll the legs to the middle of the mat. Drawing the knees into the body, or maybe the ankles or the thighs, wherever feels good for you. Bringing the legs into the body, giving yourself a hug, and then allowing the legs to travel out in front of you. Allowing the palms of the hands to face towards the sky. And just observing these new sensations, this release. Observing your mind and how the mind feels after holding that shape for 5 minutes. And now how it feels when you're in this easy resting position. And can you take some of this energy with you into your next position? This sense of ease. And when you're ready, sliding both of the feet closer to the hips. Taking your left ankle to the right knee. Drawing the legs in towards the body. Taking the hands to the thighs, the knees, or the shin, and drawing those hips closer to the body. Breathe in here, and on your exhale, allowing the legs to fall over to the right, and grabbing your props again, and finding your comfortable position with the legs over to the right, maybe arms up above the head or arm out over to the left. Gaze over to the left. Finding your shape. Finding the parts that target your tension. Feeling that spinal twist, feeling some sensation there. Maybe some sensation in the hips and the knees. Focusing on your breath as you arrive here. Again, I'm just going to come out of my shape so I can guide you. Anchoring yourself into this shape with your breath. With every exhale, grounding yourself a little further to this place in time and this mat. When we find stillness, it can often feel very uncomfortable. And that's because in society we're told that stillness and not being productive is a negative thing. And the more we do, the more we are rewarded. But the more we do, the less we become comfortable with resting and not doing, and just being in the present moment. So if you feel that this is a challenge, that's completely normal, because the way we are wired in society is that resting and doing nothing is abnormal. So just see this as a break for your nervous system. You taking time out for you to do something good that's going to benefit you in the long run. We're about halfway through this shape. And using this halfway point to take a little mental note on how you're feeling, observing these sensations. Now you've been holding this shape for 3 minutes. And how are you going to continue into this second phase of this shape? Maybe by removing any judgments on yourself. Any judgments on yourself that you should look a certain way, or you should feel a certain way, you should breathe a certain way. Just remove them. Or try and remove them with every breath. Try and pop each judgment you have, like a balloon with a pin. Pop. And move into the end of this shape with ease and a sense of peace that you are benefiting yourself by taking this time out to rest. And we've got a few more breaths left in this shape. And before we move on, just cultivating this feeling of relaxation. I invite you, when you're ready, to just draw the legs into the center. Taking the legs out towards the bottom of the mat and finding your rebound position again, your Savasana. Again, allowing stillness and ease in a new kind of way. Feeling the blood flowing to the areas that have just been contracted. Feeling your pulse throughout different points of your body. Focusing on the breath. Deepening your inhales and elongating your exhales. And we're going to slowly bring the legs towards the hips, allowing the inside of the knees just to fall into each other, rocking the knees over to the left and to the right, feeling that expansion in the hips. And just rolling onto the right or left and propping yourself up really, really slowly, moving in that yin-like energy. We're going to take the soles of our feet together and allow the knees to fall out to the side. I'll allow you to decide what level of intensity you'd like to feel this in the hips. Maybe you'd like your knees closer to you, or maybe you'd like them further away. Now you could use some blocks underneath your knees if you like, or you can grab your pillow and blankets and make a little prop on your feet. Inhale, allowing the spine to be nice and straight, and exhale, guiding your forehead towards the block. And feeling that stretch down the neck and the spine. Deciding if you need to change the intensity of this shape. Maybe you need to add a little bit more sensation. Maybe you need to remove a little bit. Using the breath to guide you into making this decision. Again, I'm just going to come out of this shape so I can guide you. Please stay in your shape. Coming into this shape with a new perspective. Now we've moved through a few rounds of shapes and stillness. Maybe you've got into the rhythm of it now. Maybe you have gone into the rhythm of tuning into the breath and observing your sensations. I invite you to enter into your mind the inner resource that we did at the beginning of the class. Taking your focus towards the place that makes you feel safe. Again, transporting yourself to the different textures and the colors and the scents. Maybe you can visualize yourself in this shape, in your safe place. And you can feel the warmth and the energy of that place soothing you into this final phase of our shape. We've been holding this shape for about 3 minutes now. Just a final few minutes left. Maybe you can visualize yourself basking in that warmth. Maybe you notice more about that place than you did at the beginning of the class. Maybe there's a new element to it, or maybe it's just the same. the same safe, peaceful spot. We've got our final minute here. And when you're ready, just coming around back into the shape. And just rolling up through the spine ever so slowly. Head is the last thing to come up. And just taking a little breather here. I invite you just to take your legs out over to the side and come to a laying position on your front. And grabbing your pillows or your blankets or your blocks and putting it in front of your face, bringing the arms down towards the side. So elbows and forearms grounded into the mat, allowing the forehead to rest onto the block or book or blanket. I'm just going to take this little Sphinx pose. This is just a nice little counter shape to take after having been in that forward fold. Just going to move out of this shape. And just taking a few more moments here. Feeling that ease. Feeling that fresh blood into parts of the spine that you were curving and contracting. And when you're ready, we're going to move out of our Sphinx shape. We're just going to raise the head. We're going to roll onto our left or our right side, push up with our hands, and just meet each other in a seated position. Grabbing our pillows and our blankets. The final shape we're going to take is we're going to take our legs out towards the side. And we're going to take our pillows, blankets, books, blocks, whatever shape, whatever props we're using, and we're just going to make a little supportive contraption to put in front of us. So taking the legs out as far as feels comfortable to hold for this period of time. Inhaling through the spine and exhaling, taking the face towards this prop, resting your right or your left cheek on the prop. And just feeling that stretch in between the legs and the hips. I'm just going to come out of the shape so I can guide you, and we'll take 3 minutes with our face one way, and then we'll change our face to the other side. And arriving here with every exhale, soothing yourself into this shape a little bit further. Feeling the mat and the ground support you underneath. If you need to change your position slightly, if the sensation's too much, or you need to increase it and add a little bit more sensation, please do so. Again, finding the best position for you, not for me, but for you. With yin yoga, it's quite liberating to have that empowering feature that we do this for ourselves. I feel like a lot of typical yoga styles are you follow someone else, and I feel with yin yoga it's a really empowering choice to explore your own body and to know what feels good for you. And if you return, hopefully you return to this practice, and if you return to this practice, you know where your points of tension are. You know what works for you because you have explored your own body and its sensations, and that's so beautiful. Okay, we've been about 3 minutes on that side. Maybe we can switch the pillow and switch the face and face the other side now. So all you need to do is just change your cheek over from right to left or left to right. And just taking yourself through this final phase of this shape. As this is a shape that targets a very, very tense area for women in particular, I invite you to, again, remove any judgments that this area shouldn't be tense, shouldn't be holding a source of discomfort for you. And if it is, maybe you need to just bring your legs in a little bit closer. But just the second phase of this shape, inviting a real sense of ease and calm to your mind, bringing the attention back to the breath every time you find it wandering. Your final minute in this shape now. Really taking that focus onto the breath. And with every exhale, still relaxing the points of tension. And when you're ready, I invite you to very, very slowly raise the head and just roll up through the spine. The head being the last thing to arrive. Just remove your props. Slowly bring legs together and come into a laying position. Maybe you'd like to pop the pillows underneath your knees. And just finding the final shape now, which is our Savasana. Just taking the focus to the breath once again. Maybe placing your hands on your abdomen and feeling the rise of the hands on the abdomen. Feeling it fall as you exhale. We're going to move through a little exercise to finish off our practice today. As if we couldn't feel any more relaxed. We're going to feel just a little bit more relaxed. I'd like you to imagine the toes on your feet. And as you inhale, I'd like you to tense the toes on your feet. Hold for a few seconds on that inhale. And as you exhale, release the tension. Now when we are tense in different parts of our body, I don't want you to exert yourself. It's just a light tension that you hold, okay? Nothing too strenuous at all. And if you don't feel comfortable with this exercise, then please just focus on your breath and relax. Taking the awareness to the soles of the feet, tensing the soles of the feet on the inhale, holding for a few seconds, and as you exhale, release. Observing how this feels. Has this brought up any new sensations? Where are the sensations? Taking the focus to the ankles and the calves, tensing them on the inhale. And as you exhale, release the tension. We're going to slowly work up the body and relax each part of the body further and further. Taking the focus to the kneecaps. Visualize the kneecaps and the skin and all the ligaments that hold them, that bind them towards the thighs. The thighs and the kneecaps. Squeeze them on the next inhale. Hold for a few seconds. And as you exhale, release. How does that feel? Where can you feel that? Taking the focus now to the hips and the abdomen area. Again, visualizing this area, thinking of all the muscles, tendons, ligaments, the fascial system around this area, visualizing that, tensing this area, the buttocks too, tensing this area on the inhale, and as you exhale, release. Slowly, slowly release. Taking the attention to the shoulders and the upper arms. Can you tense this area on your next inhale? And on your exhale, release. The forearms and the fingers, the wrists, tensing this whole area. And as you exhale, release. How does that feel? How does the abdomen feel? The arms feel, the fingers, as you slowly, slowly become more relaxed. Taking the attention to the neck, the back of the neck, the jaw. On the inhale, tensing this area. And on the exhale, release. Taking the focus to the ears, the temples and the forehead. Inhale and contract. Exhale, release. And just taking the focus back to the breath. Taking a few deep inhales and a few elongated exhales. Observing how this feels. How it feels to be able to relax each part of your body individually and sit with that ease. I'm going to leave you now in this Savasana position to take as long as you like, the longer the better, to sit in this peace with your own breath and your own sensations. Thank you for watching this video and participating today. If you liked it, please save it and return to it when you need, and please subscribe to my channel for more of these videos.